Learning to put things in perspective, Part 2.
Welcome to Part 2 of Learning to Put Things in Perspective. In a moment, I'll be discussing 7 more techniques you can use to develop this essential trait. Before doing that, I want to emphasize just how important it is to gain more perspective, just how much it contributes to your success and your well-being. Let's start by considering your health. When you're obsessed with lots of trivial problems, you feel lousy. You're hunched over, tense, and often in pain. Your blood pressure rises. You may have headaches or other ailments. Then there's your work environment. Have you ever worked with someone who blew things out of proportion on a regular basis? That's not a pleasant place to work. And what about your own productivity? You can't think clearly or get a lot done when you're bogged down with everyday problems. Furthermore, you can't be a strong leader or inspire others to stay the course if you overreact to the petty distractions that stand in the way of long-term goals. Of course, we also have to consider your ability to get along with others. With your family and friends, things are so much more enjoyable when you have your priorities in order and see the bigger picture. The person with perspective is a pleasure to be around. That's why this business of perspective is no little matter. It really makes a big difference in all areas of your life. With that in mind, let's continue with more techniques for developing perspective. Remember that in Part 1 we covered the first 5 techniques. Technique number 6, watch your mouth. Do you frequently whine and complain or broadcast your ailments and minor irritations to everyone who crosses your path? Griping reinforces your problems, makes you feel more miserable, and alienates others. Find something positive in your life or in the other person's life to talk about instead. Technique number 7, cultivate your spiritual connection. I've found that the vast majority of people with healthy perspectives have strong spiritual beliefs. Without belief in a higher power, much of life appears cruel and without purpose. As you tune into your spiritual nature, you gain a sense of purpose, receive more intuitive guidance, and you're able to see the reasons behind the patterns in your life. Each of us at the core yearns to develop a connection with our higher power. It gives us security, confidence, and peace of mind. Technique number 8, read something every day that expands your perspective. Reading is one of the easiest and best daily practices you can implement. You might start your day by reading a spiritual book like the Bible or stories of people who have overcome tremendous obstacles. Keep reading whatever builds faith, love, and strength for you. The key is daily repetition. I can't stress this enough. Events like September 11 give us a jolt, but then we tend to revert to our old habits. For example, right after September 11, attendance at places of worship soared for a few weeks. Then attendance went back to the old levels. If you read something every day that reminds you to see things in perspective, you'll carry those thoughts with you throughout the day, and it will pay huge dividends for you. Technique number 9, put yourself in physical surroundings where you can get away from everyday stress. Changing your environment can give you a fresh, relaxed point of view. Maybe you like to sit on the beach or take a walk in the woods. Find scenery that allows you to release tension and think creatively, and go there as much as possible. My wife Dolores loves to work in the garden. When she's digging in the soil and planting bulbs or flowers, she appreciates the beauty of nature, and all of her other cares disappear during that time. One final point about a change of scenery. Don't keep putting off your next vacation because you think you can't take time off from work. Getting some distance from your regular work environment will rejuvenate you and give you a fresh new start. Technique number 10 is quite simple. Exercise. Aside from the physical benefits to our bodies, exercise provides release from stress and clears our thinking. I'm amazed at those who say, I don't have time to work out. That's like saying, I don't have time to be healthy. Exercise does wonders to get your mind off your problems and makes it easier to handle stressful situations. You don't have to become a marathon runner. A brisk walk will do wonders to clear your head and reduce stress. Consult with your physician and start a regular exercise program that is consistent with your health and level of fitness. Technique number 11. Lighten up and laugh. We take ourselves and our activities far too seriously. Find the humor in everyday situations, and most importantly, be willing to laugh at yourself. Recently, the phone line connected to my fax machine was temporarily out of order. I needed to receive a fax immediately. The other phone lines were working. My friend Stu had what he thought was a very easy solution. He told me that I could connect the fax machine to one of the working phone lines. Given my hesitancy when it comes to mechanical things, I acted like he was asking me to build an airplane engine from scratch. He started to laugh and assured me I could do it. When I followed his directions, I was able to complete the task in about 15 seconds, and I was able to receive the fax. I still chuckle when I think about how I made a big deal out of this very simple task. Do yourself a favor and make sure to laugh today. The very act of smiling and laughing makes us feel better physically and reduces tension. The 12th and final technique is to simplify your life and restore balance. Easy to say, but not so easy to do. Sometimes we get overextended, taking on too many responsibilities or projects. We ignore loved ones and even our own health. So maybe it's time to say no to the next project or demand on your time. Which is really more important? Another volunteer committee assignment or spending time with your children? As you gain perspective, you'll find that your list of what's truly important will continue to narrow. As we mature, we tend to develop more perspective, but there will be times when we get preoccupied with our difficulties and fail to see the larger issues. That's why it's important to constantly work at it. Yes, maintaining perspective requires discipline, but the benefits are well worth the effort.